1 2 1 2 1 2. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the season finale of the No Name Podcast. I'll be your host, Mike Terry. I'm in the studio with Ken, Mike, the CEOs, the Swiss Army knives. I call y'all the jack of all trades. I didn't know that there's a saying with that, jack of all trades. What was it? There's like a full saying. Yeah, it's like jack of all trades is a master of none, but it's still better than master of one or something like that. I didn't know, so I don't know, a little education. I didn't, but happy to have you guys, everybody who's watching. I'm about to share the link real quick. Share it to Facebook. Gotta multitask, Mike. Yeah, all right. So appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm not the best multitasker. I'm going to do the best. I'm just going to tell you what I'm writing. Season finale of, damn it, wrong button, of the No Name Podcast. Low key, I'm going to make it sound like we closed up shop, and then we just going to hit them with a big ass dope freaking promo video. Like, oh, damn, I thought this nigga was done. Nah, we was working the whole time, baby. New episode next week. No Name Podcast, episode 43. Is it? And call in. Talk about your favorite episode. Talk about your favorite episode. 315-925-7262. All right, there we go. Oh, damn, I forgot to tag you on that one. All right, people. Appreciate everybody, man. Appreciate everybody. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be alive and shit, man. Before I get into COVID, let's go ahead and finish off some unfinished business, man. Last episode we had, I was listing the top 10 comedians of all time. I took it upon myself to do this. List the top 10 comedians of all time. And halfway through the video, it was at number 5 because we did it with a setup. I'll name the comedian. picture popped up, and then talk a little bit, give you the reason why they're in that position, then give you a sample of their performance, of their comedy style, so you can see for yourself, okay, they are funny. And halfway through the number 5, some more, halfway through her video, the feed cut out. I guess, learn from that. I guess you can't just be using video like that. You'll get whether it's copyright strike or you just get your feed cut. So got to work around. I got to find a way around that. Maybe I'll just start showing GIFs if I want to show a video or whatever. But I just want to finish it up. Next time we won't have any video. It'll just be pictures, and I'm gonna just give you reasons why I got them in that position. Because it cut off on the YouTube feed, but it was still I think it still played all the way through on the Facebook Live feed. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go back to number 10, and then work my way up to 1. But each time we tell you the name, I'm gonna show you why. Tell you why they're in that position, why I put them in that position. I think it's a pretty good list. All right, here we go. Number 10 on the top 10 stand-up comedians of all time list. Number 10 is Ari Spears. Ari Spears. I put him at number 10, man, because he's hilarious. Hilarious comedian, does great impressions. He's also a true comedy vet, man. He's been doing it for, I think it's been either 25, close to 30 years. And, I haven't seen him in person, but, whenever I see him on stage and stuff like that, it's always enjoyable. Had a couple honorary mentions on this list, like Talent the Comedian had an honorary mention. Funny dude, especially when I see him in person. He's always funny and stuff like that. Of course, there's other people, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy. Surprisingly, I know I didn't put him on the list. Bernie Mac. A couple people didn't make the list, man, but that doesn't mean that they're not great comedians. This is just Mike Terry's list, if you want to water it down. But the way I say it, this is the top 10 comedians of all time. All right, going to number 9. Number 9 on the top 10 stand-up comedians of all time list is Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence, man. My favorite comedian growing up, whether it was The Martin Show, whether it was, his work on Def Comedy Jam, which is one of the reasons I put him on this list. The best host, hands down, the best host of the Def Comedy Jam, man. The interactions with the crowd, the ad-libbing, material was fire. Also, what else? Yeah, his specials were hilarious. Run Till That, it was good. It was good, but I feel like You So Crazy was the height right there. I feel like that was prime. That was prime meat. I was gonna say prime cut. That sounds suspect now. I acknowledge that. That was seeing Mike's face. So it's like what? Pause. All right. I mean, all right. All right. So number 9, Martin Lawrence. All right, going to number 8. If you're gonna put any white guy on the list, I respect George Carlin, but for my list is Bill Burr. I'll put Bill Burr on there. Dude is freaking hilarious, man. Like he's, not only is he hilarious, but on a personal level, his stand-up comedy specials are funny. But he made me laugh when I was freaking depressed, when I was like deeply depressed, like in a dark place. His comedy was able to break through that junk, which for me is not easy. Like I've had my family, how you got a family gathering, everybody laughing, you serious, you not in the mood for it. And, maybe 30 minutes of them just cracking on you, one joke get through, so it meant something for him to be able to make me laugh. Even though it was inadvertent, it was just me watching it, but it meant something for me. And after that, I became more and more of a fan. I know he has his own podcast. I almost said it's a Monday morning podcast, Thursday morning podcast, and stuff like that. I like his format though too. He just kind of just riffs on he's got his own studio and stuff like that. Reads emails that people send, some answers questions and stuff. But I don't know, dude. He's a funny dude, man. You can see him on the Chappelle Show. or could have seen him on the Chappelle show. He was funny on there. Dude's just solid, man. Hopefully one day I get to, see him in person, whether it's meeting him or watching him perform or, performing with him one day. Who knows? All right, number 7. Earthquake. Earthquake, man. Dude is freaking funny. Like, I feel like that's without question. I don't know. I've never heard somebody say that he wasn't funny. I know he hosted the Laugh-A-Palooza event. He's got a couple comedy specials. I know he had one. It was titled "These Ain't Jokes," and I know it was some of them. Some of the jokes, I don't know if it was the fact that people heard it before or, I don't know. I just know certain points in the special people weren't laughing and he kept repeating. Some of these ain't jokes, but it just reminded me of some of the crowd work I do. Like when I'm, my jokes ain't going over, so you try to say something to make people laugh. But I'm not trying to say that to knock on him. I was just bringing it up, man. I love his comedy style, and I learned by watching him perform how to put emphasis on your words, especially if you're not, a mainly physical comedy type comedian and stuff like that. If you're more of a walk around the stage, comedian, you got to do something to kind of keep people's attention, keep them entertained. If I'm not doing backflips, I can just put a lot of emphasis on my words like that. But I don't try to do a copycat. I pride myself on being original, making things my own. But, you can get inspiration from anywhere, man. So big shout out to him. Number 7 on the list. All right. Number 6. We getting through it. I think we're good. I'm all over the place a little bit. Number 6, people. Cat Williams. Cat Williams. Some people might say, oh, he should be higher on the list. I don't think anybody's going to say he should be lower. But when you see the top of the list, I think you're going to be like, all right, it's a tough list, man. It's a tough list. I dare any other comedian to do their own list or reorganize this one. But Cat Williams, man, funny as hell. And he has 10 stand-up comedy specials. I later found out, I thought he held the record for the most. It was actually, I think, George Carlin. I think George Carlin had like 13 or 15 comedy specials. He was still doing specials, I think, around 2006, maybe 2010 and stuff. This dude was still, but I know he was, pardon me. George Carlin got to a point where, I wouldn't say it stopped being about comedy, but I know he took on a lot of social issues, which, I think that's what comedians are supposed to. I mean, there's a lot of different comedians. Everybody has their own journey, their own point of view, their own perspectives, but I don't know. I'll talk about this a little bit later on whether or not comedians have a responsibility and if so, what it is. But, I admire that. To be able to be like, all right, I know, because even with Cat Williams, his last special, and I think I said this on the last episode we had, but his last special, I heard some people say, it wasn't that funny or something like that, but I was able to watch it through the eyes of a comedian and see that, all right, he was teaching that whole time. He formed it in some jokes and stuff like that, but it was heavy medicine. It was, it's like somebody put medicine, but they put it on like a light layer of comedy or whatever. But I don't know. Credit to him, man. This man funds his own tours, funds his own comedy specials, stuff like that. And I don't know, but I think he actually rents it out to Netflix and stuff like that. Like, all right, y'all can use it for 3 years or whatever, But, I mean, I like that approach. I mean, you got to have the money to do that, though, also. So, I don't know. It's just interesting. You learn a little bit more about the business. But, yeah, Cat Williams, dude's funny as hell, man. I like the episode where we had the videos, but, I'll figure a way around that, man. But also, man, I think he got like an Emmy. I think Cat Williams got an Emmy, or he got some kind of award when he was on Atlanta. shout out to him. You know, I like that episode. I think he was called the Gator Man or something like that. He had an alligator, a pet alligator. The joke was kind of funny, man. Well, not kind of. It was funny. I enjoyed it a lot. And he's also in this new upcoming season of Atlanta. I can't wait till that comes out. I think it's gonna be next month, sometime in September. So looking forward to that. All right, man. Gonna keep going on with the list. Number 5, y'all all know it. Give it up for some more. It's gonna be some more. She's like, if there's any female comedian that without question I'll say is funny, just because she's funny, not because she's a woman, not because she's attractive, not because, just literally funny and can hang with some dudes. It's some more. Every special I've seen her in, it's been hilarious. It's been funny. You know what I mean? I like, without question, she's dude funny, if that's even a phrase. Like, she's freaking hilarious, man. So, you know, I feel like her comedy speaks for itself, stands on its own. You know, yeah. All right. So I got all the talking points I meant out of that, but yeah, man, I enjoy it thoroughly. Enjoy her comedy thoroughly, man. So all right, that's number 5. Going to number 4, the part that nobody saw, stuff like that. Number 4. You know, we all got lives. We all make mistakes. Not. It's complicated. Give it up for Bill Cosby. Yes, the nigga's still on the list. I understand some situations happened. You know, how you doing, Miss Jackie? The 70s and the 60s. I'm not about to sit here and make excuses. I'm just saying the nigga's funny. If we talking about comedy, the man belongs on the list. Can't just erase the man's freaking career. Bill Cosby, people. Bill Cosby. Why Bill Cosby? Man's been performing stand-up comedy for 50-plus years. 50-plus years. He performed, all the way until like 2013, 2014, and stuff like that. And if you think he's not about to come out with a special, you're sadly mistaken. It might be at a jazz club, but he's coming out with a special. Going on tour with a bunch of uncles and aunts all across the nation. Still funny to this day, though. You know, but what I'm learning from Cosby is, like, as he's older, it seems like he's putting he's not doing, I don't think he was ever really a physical comedian or something like that, but he's doing his expressions, facial expressions in his stories are more impactful and stuff like that. He's always been a storyteller. So, you know, once again, there's all different types of comedians. There's physical comedians where you're jumping all around the stage or something like that, or you do a lot of act outs. There's comedians who stand in one spot or just go, you know, a little bit around the stage. There's comedians who, you know, tell stories. I haven't seen a lot of knock joke comedians. I haven't seen a lot of that. But, you know, you got comedians who they got not an entourage, but what is it? They, you know, tag team comedians. Like, what is it? Not Jonas Brothers, the Lewis Brothers, or the two dudes with the glasses. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got those type of comedians. There's a lot of different types of comedians, which is a beautiful thing. Give it up for the storyteller, hands down the best storyteller, comedian. Also works clean, which is admirable. You know what I mean? People said he rivaled Richard Pryor, which actually Richard Pryor was modeling Bill Cosby's comedy style when he was coming up. You know? So, and shout out to all the other legendary comedy stand-up comedians who, you know, didn't make the list. Red Fox, you know, Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory was still funny. I mean, of course, I don't know if you can really lose your funny, though. Like, you know, I don't know if that's, y'all have an opinion on that? If you could lose your funny, like, I'll say respect to Martin Lawrence. But, like, you know, that is starting to make me feel self-conscious. Like, I didn't wash yesterday. Like, I took a shower. So Martin Lawrence, what is the example? You So Crazy, hysterical. You know what I mean? Looked like he was still hungry. He was still lean. Run Till That had a little pudge on him. Jump wasn't that's funny. It was his second special though. You know, had some. I don't know. That's an example I would use, but I'm sure there's other comedians. But I don't know. Maybe there's, let's open it up to discussion. Can you lose? You're funny. Can your funny get watered down, or is it just, hey man, you just, you chose the wrong jokes, or I don't know. Just from, anybody's perspective. Y'all got any opinion on that? Or?
Are you saying you feel Martin lost his? Because I agree, if that's what you're saying.
I don't. It's hard. I don't even want to disrespect him like that. I'll just say, maybe I don't. All right, you know what? Just talk, Mike. Just talk. I feel like the shit got watered down. I'm gonna say it. I feel like he kind of, I don't want to say fell off, but it's,
For me, I've always liked Martin more in movies than stand up.
Okay.
So that was for me. I like to see him in the movies.
Okay.
I mean, was Run Tell That better than You So Crazy? No. But I think it was what he was going through at that time in his life. Remember, he had all that issue where they said he was going crazy. So
Right.
I like the more in-depth comedy jams too.
Yeah, he had more. Yeah, but that's when he was. I hope he never stopped being hungry, but you can tell that was more.
What happens when you're hungry.
The hunger, you go full force. You giving it all.
Yeah.
I don't think he lacked it. I just think things that happened in his life kind of slowed him down. Is what slowed him down.
Okay.
Like I said,
I think you get more comfortable, and you have more money, so you won't have those struggles anymore that you could talk about. For me, I think it happens more.
But you got some comedians that still stay with the repetitions. They still stay bringing that funny. I mean, you got Cat Williams on the list. He's an example as somebody who.
But you think all of his stand-ups are funny?
From his start, I enjoyed them.
Okay.
Did they get a little more political and stuff? Yes, but he knew how to spin the political stuff and make humor of it and make it funny, to where you got your Chris Rocks and your Dave Chappelle. Sometimes they don't necessarily make them funny. Yeah, they'll throw some punchlines in between, but it's more like they're really trying to get, a political point, get you thinking, not laughing.
Right.
Get you more of thinking about
thought-provoking
society and, shit that's going on. To where a cat get you thinking but still have you laughing at the same time, to where you're not thinking about it as serious.
And I think if you want to fit in Hollywood, your jokes have to be more politically correct, because you don't want to offend anyone and, upset the powers that be.
Right.
You can't tell, like, LGBT, jokes like you probably could back then. If you're not trying to fit in Hollywood, then you could be like a Corey Holcomb and say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, that motherfucker reckless. Yeah.
Those of you who can't hear, that's Jackie Mack in the background.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
Shout out to Jackie Mack.
And that's the same thing, though. Do you really want, like
you got
she
100
said,
Flo Hess on you.
being like they say, like with the LGBT, like, I mean, back in the day, it wasn't when somebody said faggot or gay. It wasn't like, why all of a sudden the narrative it changed. Why is it so serious all of a sudden?
So sensitive now. Yeah. Everything is sensitive.
It wasn't like that. Everybody got an acronym now, or everybody, everybody got something now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm losing track.
Right.
I don't know what to call people no more.
Right.
So now you got people who want to be, classified as this. If I'm transgender, I want to be a he or a her or a they or a this. Like, come on, that's too much.
Yeah. Like I when this was all jumping off, and I do want to do more research, personal research, into figuring out where was the starting point when this started to blow up and stuff like that, and what was happening, what was a big story, and what was happening before that. Because sometimes when you have stuff like this kind of blow up and it's a mainstream topic, it's a cover-up for something that was happening before, or a diversion or something like that. So hopefully I don't go missing saying that on a microphone. But I don't know. It's just, once it got to a point where I heard like me with a full beard You know what I mean? Testicles intact. I could go ahead and say, I feel like a woman today. So call me a woman. Once it got to that point, I was like, all right, hold up. What's going on? What's going on, man? But I don't know. But yeah, in closing, that makes a lot of points. I made a lot of good points and stuff like that because, you know, comedy, what makes it funny sometimes is relatability. You know, like if you're living in a mansion, how do you relate to people who still live with their moms and stuff like that? Or, you know, relatability, the imagination of what you're talking about.
Definitely.
Can they see what you're talking about? And predictability or unpredictability. People think that you're saying, you know, all right, the story's going this way. Oh, he switched. Oh, that was crazy. Unpredictability. A lot of things make it funny. Sometimes it's, you know, it's the visual, of course, but
See, in that, I think Chris Rock was good at that.
okay,
I mean, he switching it to where it makes somebody go, damn, like, whoa, I ain't see that one coming.
yeah.
You know, like one of his comedy specials that always stand out to me when he was talking about the difference between black and white, and he basically looked at his audience and was like, he said, "There's not a white person in that room that would trade places with him."
Yeah.
He's a rich black man. He said, and I'm rich.
Right.
And he's like, hey, that's how good it is to be white. You wouldn't want to trade places with me, and I'm rich,
Right.
and you're not.
That's
So
crazy.
The way that always stood out, and that to me that spoke a lot of volumes. That might have went over a lot of people's heads.
Right.
But that really always stuck with me with that comedy special.
Yeah, man.
That shit always stuck with me.
That's dope. You know, it's I learned there's a I don't even want to say like a power, but I remember I noticed that like sometimes when I was early on in my, I'm not old, but like early on in my career when I was writing jokes and stuff like that, and I'm like, you know, as I'm writing, I'm like, all right, you know, as I tell this story, I can see how people are gonna think this, but I actually want to go in this direction and stuff like that. So it's cool, you know, like when you're crafting your jokes, you can have that kind of you know, have that approach and stuff like that. But yeah, in closing, man, I guess in that regard, if you don't try to stay relatable or you don't make the efforts, I guess maybe it can be harder to become relatable once you get to a certain stature. So you have to put yourself in positions to understand, put your ear to the ground, as they say, and see what's going on. Go to the comedy clubs. Because, you know, respect to Martin Lawrence. But, you know what, he had another comedy special that came out in 2016. And, you know, I was like, all right, Martin coming back. Martin. Oh. I was watching the special and I was like, damn, man. It wasn't bad, but it was like, all right. It was like, all right, he's still on that run till that level. And then he was doing some of the same jokes. But I can't even knock him that bad because somebody on the list, he also does some of the same jokes sometimes, but it's still got that punch and that power to it. But I think he was trying to get it back.
Do you think he lost that passion for the stand up? Like he just like
I think he lost hunger.
Like okay, I'm doing it because this is what people expect, but my heart not really in it no more like it once was.
I think he might have went through that phase. He might have got so busy with the shows, and also he got like daughters. And I think he was like, you know, it came to a point of prioritizing and stuff, prioritizing the long term, securing their future. And then it's like, you know, later on in his life, it's like, all right, man, you know what? I ain't done stand up in a while. He got that fire a little lit, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna just grind my way back into it. And then, you know, because even before that special dropped, some footage leaked of him at doing a comedy show, and you know he was doing his niggas is ruthless. He was doing his jokes, and one of them, you know what I mean, didn't get a big pop. The nigga in the audience was like, "This shit corny," and he was like, he was like, "Oh, damn, man." It was like, and see, it's supposed to be all love and judge. And it was like, damn, man, niggas told him like, but it's. I don't know, bro. I feel bad for him because deep down, I do want Martin to come back and be that fire, passionate, comedian who's freaking knocking it out on all cylinders. He ain't got to do all the physical stuff. And some of the newer stuff I heard him do was funny, but it's just it's like, damn, man. I think it's just, I mean, only he would be able to speak on this directly with full accuracy, but it just seems like I don't even want to disrespect him by saying he fell off. I think he might have lost some of the hunger.
Yeah. To me, Chris Tucker, same person, same thing.
Oh yeah.
Going from back then to now, I mean, I think a lot of his falling off was due to himself. Once he became a born again Christian, but we ain't gonna
I feel you.
go on those tables. But
about that.
he kind of took a lot of stuff away from himself because what made him, he stopped doing.
Right.
So, his little special he had, his little Netflix special, like I said, it was okay. I had a few laughs here and there, but it was like, nah, it's not the Chris I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
But it was just like, he tried it.
Yeah.
Like, and again, it was, for me, looking at him, it was like he was really putting his best foot forward. Like, he really was trying to, like, hey, like,
right.
His passion was there, but it was just, I said, his walk through life, his change through life, changed his comedy, which made everybody sit back like, nah, this not the same. This ain't Smokey. This ain't the same. This not the dude who got you all the Jackie Chan movies and
right.
Money Talk, and all this stuff. Like, this ain't the same person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I look at him and Mark kind of the same way. Kind of like the same thing.
I feel you.
They life situations kind of gave them some drawbacks and some setbacks.
Yeah. Now I respect that because I can talk about that on a very smaller level. Because I was doing comedy and then I got to a point where I fully accepted Christ in my life and I was strongly in the church and stuff, and I was still hitting the open mics, but there was a little bit of a transformation in my jokes and stuff. Slowly but surely, stopped cussing as much, but I start telling jokes that would appease a Christian audience, but also trying those out, in the open mics and comedy clubs and all that, and getting laughs and stuff. And I even was able to perform for the church a couple times and stuff like that, especially during some periods where I was working overnights and wasn't as active on the comedy scene. But I think there was, I don't know if it's recent or if it was during that time, I saw like some kind of picture of Chris Rock performing at a church function and stuff like that. But I definitely can understand how that can adjust your comedy style, your things you talk about and stuff like that. So I don't know. Yeah, that's another person who I don't know. That's the thing about life, man. And people growing up to a degree, growing up in front of you, going through life in front of you and stuff like that on camera. Some things, some things change, some things advance and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's is an interesting topic, man. All right, so yeah, we talked about Bill Cosby. All right, people, going into number 3. This list gets tougher. You know what I mean? This list gets tougher. All right. Number 3. Who's number 3 on the top 10 comedians of all time list? Ladies and gentlemen, is Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor. Hands down. Some people still put him as number 1. Absolutely, I can understand that. Respectable. I think any of these top 3 right here can be number 1. I think, what are the reasons that I got him down? Hilarious comedian, known for being, hold up. Yeah, he also reinvented his comedy style while he was, I don't know if you would say at his height, but while he was on primetime TV. I think he was, there's like a story, I think he was at either Copacabana or he was at some nice white club, I think out in Vegas, and he was doing some jokes, and Dean Martin was in the crowd. And while Richard Pryor was on stage performing, he looked at Dean Martin and saw like an expression almost like he could read his mind. And it was like Dean Martin was saying, like, you know, like just be you, or this isn't you, or something like that. But it was just a strong sense of, what the fuck am I doing? You know? And then he just freaking got off stage, was like, I'm sorry, I can't keep performing like this. And got up off stage and left. And then it wasn't Woodstock, but there was some place that he went to. I forget the name, but he, you know, through that process, he actually, you know, started talking about the things he wanted to talk about, things that he was passionate about, and finding his voice in that atmosphere, and, you know what I mean, making people laugh, and then Rocket on his back, went to the next level, and then became the Richard Pryor that we all know and love and stuff like that, who is, you know, talking about white people, talking about the highs and lows, talking about police brutality, talking about, but making it hilarious. You know, that's the trick, you know, making it hilarious and stuff like that. And I think is, you know, your mind works a certain way, you know, not to discredit anybody else, but when you're a comedian and you talk about these things, your mind just works a certain way to make it funny. But also, you know what I mean, just is, I don't know, it's just, I say it that way because like it's kind of, it can be a defense mechanism. Like I'll use myself as an example. Like I remember in like elementary school, some kids, I thought they were like trying to bully me, but they were actually, it was almost like I had a try me button on my head or something like that. Like they'd do something like they'd slap you on the back of the neck or something like that. You see kids getting slapped on the back of their neck and they say, oh, go hit Mike, watch this, or something like that. And then they would hit me, and then I say the first thing that came to my mind, and everybody started laughing. But I'm really pissed off, you know? So I don't know. It took me a while to sit back and realize, oh, okay, I was being funny. I didn't, so that's, I don't know. All right. Opened up a little bit. All right. And then what else do I have for him? Yeah, racial issues. But yeah, man, if you ever go ahead and go on YouTube and type in Richard Pryor, man, I guarantee that you're going to laugh. Whether it's the mafia joke, whether it's the joke about him and his dad in the jungle, whether it's the heart attack joke, which I remember I was hollering the first time I heard that. Richard Pryor live in concert. A lot of different jokes he got, man. Movies. He was in movies too. Was it Harlem Nights? I love that movie. There's Car Wash. There's See No Evil. I think, yeah, Hear No Evil, See No Evil, or something like that. Speak No Evil. Yeah, there's
Toy. Yeah, that was a toy. Yeah, Toy.
It's also
Mike was, I don't know if you've seen that one. He was probably a baby.
Nah, I didn't see that one. Nah, but
movie The Toy.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
he's in Superman also. I think a couple of them. Yeah.
Superman, yeah. He did a lot of Bustin' Loose.
Yeah.
It was an old school.
Yeah, but he was the preacher and something like that too. I think. Yeah.
What was that? Me and H love that movie, man. Which Way Is Up?
Which Way Is Up?
That's a good movie.
He did a bunch of movies with
characters in that one. That's how Eddie Murphy got that idea of doing multiple characters.
Oh.
Richard Pryor.
Okay.
And, Which Way Is Up? He was about 3 or 4 different people in that movie.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that jump where he was the pastor, that joint was hilarious. And jump like that. It was, yeah, man, inspired a lot of people. Richard Pryor inspired a lot of people, man. You know, I dare you. You know, we had a clip up, but just go to YouTube and watch the clips yourself. I'm sorry.
I've never seen Richard Pryor stand up. I've only seen his movies.
Oh wow.
And I think it's funny, but
We have an alien amongst us, ladies and gentlemen. No, sorry.
You know, it really made me mad.
Yeah, right.
Listen,
Mudbone.
I
He did the Mudbone character. That was hilarious.
A
Also.
bunch of his comedy on CDs.
Okay.
When we used to go on our fishing trip,
Oh,
basically
nice.
put them all down in the MP3s, and
Yeah.
we would listen to that, and that was a 6-hour drive all the way
Oh, okay.
there and all the way back home. That's all we listened
Nice.
to. That was our routine, listening to the Richard Pryor comedies back to
Yeah.
back. And he was something. He definitely was something different.
Yeah.
And I can see where he took a lot of Bill Cosby stuff and kind of switched it and made it his own. To me, Bill Cosby best stand up, and I can still watch it to this day, was the Bill Cosby himself.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, that was like one of the best. I can watch that all the time. That
Yeah.
was hilarious.
That was my favorite one. He had another one. What was it? I think it was I'm Not Done Yet. That was his last one.
He had a couple, and that was like one of the ones that always stood out to me. Just 'cause, like you said, his storytelling and how he his delivery. And the funny thing about it is, he wasn't running across stage like a lot of comedians do. He was sitting in a damn chair, man, the whole time. Telling his stories.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of comedians, between the two of them, Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, really got their Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby, really took a lot of their stuff.
Yeah. I like the fact that they started early too. Like Bill Cosby, I know he had a special. I think it was called 43 or 46, and I know from that special he had one joke about, or he was telling one story about how his parents came to visit him, and his dad sat on his hat, and his mother, like, she just like gave up. Like, usually she'd be nagging him or whatever, or getting on him. Did you know that you sat on your hat or something like that? At the end of the story, she was like, you sitting on your hat. And then he looked over, he was like, I know it. And then he just kept on. And then, they finished the visit. They got up. He picked his hat up, put it on his hat, and they walked off. I just remember that joke. It was freaking hilarious because it was like after years and years of being with each other, after a while, you like, this battle ain't worth it. This battle ain't worth it. We'll have another one at the house. You know what I mean? All right. Richard Pryor's number 3. All right. So who's number 2, people? Who's number 2? This one's tough. I had this one at number 1 originally, but I had a little video that changed my mind. But we gonna go number 2 on the top 10 comedians of all time list. Ladies and gentlemen, is Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin. This dude, bruh, freaking hysterical, man. Like, there's levels. This dude is at a freaking, I feel like he's one of those unsung heroes, or he's like a comedian who don't get the credit he deserves, don't get the publicity he deserves. This dude could hang with anybody. This motherfucker is solid as they come. Hilarious. Can talk all about white people and make it hilarious. Like racist white. I'm convinced he could talk about any topic, and that shit would have you hollering. No matter what you believe, what you feel. He's talked about Christians and made it hilarious. He's talked about a lot of different stuff, man. Got a lot of respect for him. I hope I do get to meet him one day. That'd be awesome. What reason do I have for it? Yeah, funny. Yeah, he's funny. He can educate you. Speak on racial issues. Also, he can do impressions and stuff. Now, well, I don't know. As far as I know he did impressions about what is not Pink. Thinking freaking
His best ones are
Yeah.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Michael Jackson. He do a lot of good Michael
Prince
Jackson.
is what I'm thinking of.
Yep,
Prince,
too.
Michael Jackson.
I mean, Sammy Davis, hell, he kind of looked like him, so that's why.
Right.
That's why I
Right.
figured he can get that spot on because he favors him.
Tommy Davis.
Right.
Yeah, Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson, yeah.
Sammy good too.
Oh yeah, Tommy Davidson is good too, man.
Eddie Griffin definitely is underrated, man. He is a good comedian.
Yeah, man.
And he natural, he real. He don't, like you said,
Right.
he don't sugarcoat shit. He black, white, whatever, he gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
He don't.
I got a question, Mike. Why do you, in your opinion, why do you feel that he hasn't gotten his flowers as what most people say?
Because the first thought was he don't give a fuck, but it's he's non-conformative. I don't think that he's gonna sit in the board meeting and say yes, master, or
He's not apologetic.
Unapologetic. He's I guess he would ruffle too many feathers, maybe.
Right, that's what I was trying to.
But
he's not. I'm quite sure they asked him to tone it down, and he won't. Like, hey,
Right.
this is me. This is what the people came to see. This is what they're gonna get.
So do you think is what I'm looking for is time frame? Because again, Cat Williams is kind of rough around the edges, and he still got a little play on movies and Hollywood.
I mean, Eddie Griffin did too. He been in some movies, but Cat would play ball. Eddie was like, nah, I'm not. I'm not gonna bend. I don't care what you say. It was like, he even said it in an interview, and I don't mean to cut you.
No, you good. You good.
He said it in an interview one time. He said he was supposed to go to some like award show. He wanted to be a presenter. They wanted him to be a presenter, but they asked him to do some jokes. He like, hey, do jokes for free. Like, shit, you gonna pay me to do some jokes?
Right.
I'm not doing my jokes for free. These jokes cost money. So they said, okay, they'll pay him to do some jokes, but he gotta tone it down.
Right.
He like, do you know who the fuck I am? Like, I'm not toning shit down.
That was all freedom of speech. Yeah, I remember that special.
He went out there, he said, he went out there and did him. He said, they cut the mic off on him. He said, this motherfucker dropped the mic and started hollering. I'm like, hey, they can still hear me. Like, I don't give a fuck. You gonna get what you pay for. This is me. I'm gonna be me. Yeah. I was like, hey, I respect him. Like, he like, hey, this is what made me who I am. Me being me, I'm not gonna change me for nobody. If you don't like it, then I won't work with you. That's pretty much how he is.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I mean, how's it?
I think he has like one of his older specials on Netflix. What was it? Dysfunctional Family. I think so. I know he has some on.
And he did a new one on Netflix too. I forgot the name of it.
Is it? I know I think he has like Enigma. He has those are some newer ones. Enigma, Undeniable, stuff like that. I think some of those are on Amazon also, and I think he might have one on Hulu. I don't know, but dude is freaking solid, man. Solid, man. I keep thinking like he has like that heart of a comedian as far as like I'm gonna talk about it, I feel like that's one of the responsibilities. We'll get into it also, but all right, people. So number one, who's number one on the list? I'm tempted to see if we can run that video and not get our feed cut, but I'm just gonna chill. But number one on the list, top 10 comedians of all time, ladies and gentlemen, is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. So we had a video on the last episode. Of course it got cut, but the video is basically a compilation of stand-up comedians telling their experiences, basically giving their opinion on who's the GOAT of stand-up comedy and testifying and saying, you know what, man, he's the best. He's the best. And this is the reason why. Eddie Murphy gave him flowers on that one. There was a video of Cat Williams giving him flowers, saying Dave Chappelle is better than me, not like on some humiliating way, but just giving him his flowers. Who else was on there? Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Bill Burr, a lot of different comedians. And then I'm like, you know what? And I know I have the information, I have the wisdom that I have, but these are comedians who have been around a lot longer than I have and who know a lot more than I do, who know more about comedy more than I do. And I'm like, all right, if they're saying he's the GOAT, and I'm not one to just go with the tide or nothing like that, but I'm just mixing it with my own thoughts and stuff like that. And, my number one reason for putting them number one, among being funny, among, hold up, did I write that right? Among being funny, among being thought-provoking and stuff like that, is he's moving the genre forward. In the midst of the Me Too, in the midst of everybody getting offended on the fly, offended, LGBTQ, he's still standing 10 toes down and speaking his truth, speaking his opinion. They tried to cancel him. Man got enough money to have his own ranch, got his own shows going on out there. He's not hurting for money. You know what I mean? Plus he had the $60 million or $50 million. I'm pretty sure he didn't spend it all. So shout out to him, man. I know there's what was it? I remember he did an interview and he was saying, when he came back from Africa. There was like a period, I think, where he wasn't doing comedy. And then, you know, he said he was just living a suburban life. And he got to a point where he was like, you know, he still felt like he was one of the funniest dudes alive. And he's like, I got to get back out there. And so he started building brick by brick. I know he had did a show in London. I seen that clip. It was funny. There was videos of him. I think he was out in Seattle. He was on a stage in the park, you know, and people started crowding around, making people laugh. And we also had a clip of him performing at the comedy Laugh Factory, and he was, you know, it was a joke about man rape. The joke was freaking hilarious, but he was saying around that time he just got back to just having fun, doing comedy to have fun. And I've heard other comedians say, like, once you get to a certain point, you start making that network money. You got to make groups, you got to make points, you got to make certain groups laugh or whatever. So, you know, I've heard other comedians, you know, behind the scenes of Funny Bone. One comedian told me, man, you know, one thing to take away, enjoy right now. Enjoy this phase of comedy where, you know, you ain't got that much money, but you love doing it. And, you know what I mean? You'll travel 8 hours for $40 and stuff like that. Or, you know, enjoy that, man. You know, that dude seemed a little miserable. Like he got, I think, a Netflix comedy special and all that. I can't remember his name right now. Probably wouldn't be wise to say it. I'm not discrediting him, but you know, it I don't know. So it just taught me, man, don't rush the process. Don't rush. Just be grateful for every phase that you are in. Try to make the most out of it. Try to enjoy it front to back. I've heard TD Jakes said, this is a little, I felt like it fits, but he was saying every level has its own hell. So, you know what I mean? Just, you know, just be patient. Enjoy the ride. Everybody has their own story. You know, I know the typical story is, all right, you got to make it by 25 so they can put you in a bunch of movies so you can be the shining franchise kid and be in movies for 10 to 20 years and do specials every now and again. And everybody got their own special, man. Charles Bradley is a singer. This dude made it. I think he signed a deal and got his first album at 65, I think, or 67. Before that, dude was homeless. He was doing covers of James Brown and all that kind of stuff. So stuff like that gives me a lot of encouragement and stuff like that, man. That you got your own journey, you got your own passion, you got your own dreams. Chase it and go all the way. Don't freaking. This is your life, man. Go after it. And you find your purpose, man. Go after that junk. Don't try to be like anybody else. And the beauty of it, the beauty of comedy also, is having your own point of view, having your own perspective. For example, like when it comes to not newscasters, but sports analysts are like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. When something happens in basketball, say LeBron James goes back to the Cavs, you got your opinion of it, but you're like, oh, I wonder what Shannon Sharp going to say. Oh, I wonder what Stephen A. going to say. Same thing applies to comedy. You have your own voice for a reason. You have your own way that you think about it for a reason. And whether it's now or whether it's 20 years from now, somebody's going to be interested in your opinion. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but point is, own your own voice, man. Don't be afraid to speak up and say what you you know, some niggas should be careful. But I'm saying, you know, own your own voice, man. You got your own opinion, you know, and it has value. It has value. All right, that's the top 10 list. Did I have any other reason for putting him down at number 1? Yeah, Brave. Yeah, I think. All right, so we got that part. So that's the top 10. Number 10, Ari Spears. Number 9, Martin Lawrence. 8, Bill Burr. 7, Earthquake. 6, Cat Williams. 5, some more. 4, Bill Cosby. 3, Richard Pryor. 2, Eddie Griffin. Number 1, Dave Chappelle. I think that's a pretty tough list.
You know what
How
I
do you
noticed
feel?
about this list?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of comedians on this list are really, they're like highly intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle,
Yeah.
Cat Williams, Eddie Griffin. And I don't know if that's just because of their life experience
Right.
You know, they can speak on a wide
Right,
area
variety.
of topics, and
Yeah.
they're really smart. And you just sit and you listen, and you can just soak in
Yeah.
everything that they say.
That's the thing. Somebody had told me that I got like really encouraged about. Like somebody was like, I was performing and it was like, you know, I didn't laugh the whole time, but you know, even when I wasn't laughing, I was entertained and stuff like that. And it was like, I just wanted you to hear that, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And then I heard Dave Chappelle. He was telling Trevor Noah, and Trevor Noah was telling the story. He was like, you know, why do you have me on the show and stuff like that? There's a bunch of people who were, I'm sure, funnier than me, et cetera, et cetera. And Chappelle was telling them, you know, you're not here because you're funny. There's a bunch of funny other people. I was like, I got you on this show because you're interesting. You know, people want to hear what you got to say. They want to hear, you know what I mean, your life story or whatever. So that taught me that there's of course different levels, but there's different shades to comedy. There's different aspects to comedy and stuff like that. You want to be funny, you also want to be entertaining. You you know, you want to make people think, but it's like a blend. Everybody has their own blend of comedy. 20 thought provoking, 70 comedy, you know, or funny or whatever, and you know, whatever with the other 30. But it's a blend. So it's pretty dope, you know. Everybody. That's why I want to heavily push: be yourself, think for yourself, be your own person, man. All right, so yeah, that's the top 10 list of comedians. Let me see. All right, so what happened to Mike Terry? Why we ain't seen you in like a month? Nigga caught COVID, people. I caught COVID. It was my turn. It was my turn. That's the way I see it. It happened. I'm blessed to live through it. I wasn't stressing. You know, after a while, I wasn't stressing. Story of how it happened. It could have happened when I went to a movie theater and I grabbed the snacks and went to the seat and didn't put on hand sanitizer and then eat. That might have been what happened. That was the thought I had. I usually have a little, you know, pocket sanitizer with me. And once I'm in the chair, do that and just eat. But that might have been it. I just know, like, it was, I think, day three of being in the house. Because first I'm like, all right, I just got a little cold. Go ahead, take some, you know, eat, lay down. I'll be better in the morning and stuff. Day 2, all right, I still feel like I got a cold. All right, you know what? All right, just be patient. I'll be able to get back out there, get this money. You know what I mean? I know bills, they ain't going nowhere. Just, you know, enjoy the day. Day 3, all right, what's going on? You know? And then I was just like laying in the bed. And then I was sitting on the bed and I just leaned up and I got dizzy. And I was like, I got it. I was like, I got it. I feel it. And I started feeling like a sickness on my tongue and stuff like that. But I could still, you know, taste food and stuff like that. I was trying not to over exaggerate or blow it out of proportion. So I just waited. I don't know. That was weird. I was like, all right, yeah, this is it. So I called you. I was like, look, sorry, I ain't gonna be able to make it to the podcast. I feel like I'm under the weather, or you know. I took the test that Sunday, so I think I told y'all Friday or Thursday, but I took the test Sunday and got confirmation on what I already knew. So yeah, at that point, you know, all right, my bad. I don't know what that is, but yeah. Had COVID. I didn't have the hospital version, which I'm grateful for. Some people were concerned and stuff, you know, making, you know, not really calling, but checking, making sure I was all right. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was, I don't know. It was a mental shift I had to do from going towards being on it, working, to just, all right, nigga, you in the house. You can't go nowhere. Just relax. Hey, there's a bunch of shows you ain't watched in years. You know what I mean? Netflix, you got Hulu. Or not Hulu, but you got all these subscriptions. Just sit back and watch it. The difficult point was waiting to eat because, you know, I can't necessarily leave the room with a house full of people. And I had to wait until people remembered that I was in the room to see if I ate and came and checked about me. And my mom, shout out to my mom, she was the most consistent. You know, there's only, you don't want to be a bother in Jet. You know, I ain't want to be a bother and stuff. So she checked, you know, hey, do you eat yet? And, you know, after a while, you lose all your humble and stuff like that. Like, nah, I ain't eat yet. You know, what you want to eat? and you don't want to be like, hey, I'll take some chicken, some broccoli, hey, whatever's down there. But you mean, you know what I mean? You know, so, you know, one day it was 2 hot dogs and stuff, but you was grateful. I ate it slow, you know? And long story short, I'm grateful for food. I'm very grateful. Anytime it made me appreciate her cooking even more. Like the fact that she cooked. And I'm sure, you know, I know that she got frustrated sometimes when she would cook, and then I'll come home from doing the Uber with some McDonald's and, you know, let her know, hey, I'm going to eat it, you know, eat it tomorrow or eat it. What? Nah, it ain't a day that goes by I don't eat the cooking now. I eat when I'm not even hungry. Like, just the fact that I can go down off my own free will and make something to eat, I take full advantage. I'm getting hungry right now thinking about this, but I'm saying, man, you know, I guess, you know, I try to take lessons, try to find a lesson in every scenario. You know, maybe I need to humble myself a little bit, you know, appreciate, you know, having food and stuff like that. Appreciate the little things. Always try to stay grounded. You know, I don't ever want to think of myself higher than I am. So, okay, I said COVID. I meant to not say COVID and give it another name. I hear that's something that gets your videos flagged or whatever. But, damn it.
I thought it was the jab.
The jab? Okay, yeah. I got the jab.
The vaccine.
Oh, that. Okay, maybe. Yeah, that
say
might
that. Guys say the jab.
Okay.
Shit like that.
How are this is usually where I do like the little shout out for all the shows, all the other shows. Did anything change with those, or is there less shows going on? I ain't gonna lie, I've been out the loop. Like I done got comfortable with having my phone off and just watching shows.
This Family Affair, you know, they did their final episode a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Now it's pretty much it. A few perspectives was last night. That was
okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
As usual, for the most part.
Shout out a few perspectives.
Everything else is pretty much, you know, still the same. Like
okay.
He was saying earlier, you know, we're just gonna bring back some old shows as well as introducing some new ones. So.
Okay. That's what's up, man. Glad everything's still moving. I see. We actually been. Anytime I say that it's gonna be a quick episode, it ends up being a lengthy one. I try not to say it, but I was like, I didn't know. So, all right. So I got like some definitions, because I've heard some different terms being thrown around throughout the years. Comedian. Are you a comedian? Are you a comic? You know, and then I got one that's a little older, the court jester. You know, I think so. I'm gonna break down these, and basically, it's just to give some enlightenment, to educate, and you know, basically, you decide for yourself if it's all the same thing, you know, or if they're different at all. So, comedian. The definition for a comedian is an entertainer. An entertainer who is designed to make an audience laugh. Pretty basic. Basically, you know, an entertainer who's trying to make people laugh. His performance is trying to make people laugh. A comic is causing or meant to cause laughter. A comedian, another definition I got, a comedian, especially a professional one, in emphasis, it was a stand-up comic. I guess that's what it was trying to define. But yeah, stand-up comic is a comedian, especially a professional one. My interpretation for professional is like you're touring around comedy clubs, getting paid for it, or you're able to get in comedy clubs and, you know what I mean, go around and get paid for it. And then there's the court jester. Court jester, as everybody knows, is you know, not ancient, but it's in the older times, the medieval times. The court jester was a jester or a fool or a joker, was a member of the household of a nobleman, or a monarch employed to entertain guests during the medieval and Renaissance eras. So, I mean, do with that what you will. It's just give them some education. I don't know. It's wild. I think they used to kill them, like the court jesters, if they didn't do the job right. I don't know, but I think they used to kill them. I'll have to look that up a little bit more. But as far as responsibilities, do comedians have responsibilities? I feel like we do, man. You know, I feel like there's different phases that you go through. You know, I think is wise to educate yourself before you start to speak on things. You know, so yes, there's first when you're finding your style of comedy, the first few years and stuff like that. You're finding your style of comedy. First, you want to be funny. Find a way to be funny. You find your style of comedy. And then you throughout life as you grow and stuff like that. As you grow, you start to decide. You start to notice the things that you really care about, the things that you're passionate about, subjects, current events, things that you're really passionate about. I think those are the things you should speak on. You know what I mean? Because that's the things you're really gonna give that extra effort to research or to find out about. When you just talking about this because everybody else is talking about it. It's I don't know. It's not gonna be as powerful or as intense. But that's what I would say. Like for anybody who's watching, any comedian, whether you're thinking about starting or you're currently doing it or whatever, I would say you want to go for the things that you genuinely care about. Whether it's family, whether it's I think they call it the nuclear family, where there's a mom, a dad in the house and stuff like that, and married, got kids or whatever topic it is. Just talk about the things that you care about. Don't get so concerned about what everybody else is doing. Be your own person. Think for yourself. Talk about the things you care about. Research it. You know what I mean? Whether it's Google, whether it's YouTube, whether you see documentaries on the things you care about, educate yourself so that you can speak from a place of strength, so you can speak with some oomph, so you can, most of all, know what you're talking about. You don't ever want to be talking about something that you're passionate about, but you didn't research it. Somebody pull your flag, and now you looking embarrassed, So educate yourself. Also, in closing, pretty soon, I'm going to be a guest on what's called the Late Night Magic Talk Show. Somebody has a podcast. Hit me up on Instagram recently and let me know, hey, man, I guess they see me on Instagram. I forget exactly how, but they saw me and they decided, hey, man, we'd love to have you on as a guest and stuff like that. So we're going to be shooting it Monday. We were going to shoot it recently, but he had to reschedule, and then I had caught COVID, so it just but everything's starting to move a little freer. So I believe they're going to actually have their episodes dropping on Monday and Thursday. So I don't know when this one is going to drop, but I will let everybody know once it does. But, will I have a haircut? Tune in to find out. I'm going to have to. Dude has 50,000 followers on Instagram. So, this could be good exposure for myself, for C2C Indie Radio. I'll make sure I plug.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, and once again, well, I get people watching. This ain't it. Stay tuned, though. For the people who think this is it, you're going to get surprised. It's not out of vengeance, but we got some plans coming. All right? Got some plans coming, man. Do a little facelift. But this is the end of the No Name Podcast. No Name Podcast. Shit gonna have a name when we come back. But it's we appreciate this run. We appreciate everybody who was along for the ride, everybody who contributed. Shout out to my former co-host Jackson. Shout out to all the special guests we had. Ken. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to our guest Ken. Shout out to Black Mel. Shout out to Boo Nitty. Shout out to everybody who called in. Everybody who even tuned in, who clicked like on it, who anybody who gave a fuck, we thank you. We appreciate you. You know what I mean? I see this as a strong effort. Also, to a respectful degree, I see this as a trial run for what's to come. So, we all got to start somewhere. I don't want to take too much more of your Saturday. Appreciate everybody, man. Sincerely. Y'all want to say anything else in closing?
I'm good. You set it off for us, Mike.
All right. All right. Keep a lookout for the Late Night Talk Show. Late Night Magic Talk Show. You can find that on YouTube. You can find that on Instagram. I'm not sure if you can find it on Facebook, but there will be clips and episodes being released. Appreciate it. This was episode 43 of the No Name Podcast. Appreciate you. I don't know what else to say. So thank you. I'm Mike Terry, and we're out.